As always, please retry the question before watching the video. There are two things you need to know to be able to answer this question. If you don't know the answer to either of these, please add them to your cheat sheet, master them, and go back 5 before continuing in the video. What does RC for confusing sentence questions? Each answer is a rearrangement of the sentence. Each answer is a rearrangement of the same sentence. What is a WTD for confusing sentence questions? Choose the answer that starts with the subject. Choose the answer that starts with a subject. So let's go through these. Answer F is where we will start. This basically what we're looking for is just the answer that's going to make the sentence as smooth as possible. So in 1963, the year Shiv Kumar, an astronomer studying stars of very low mass. So that's a parenthetical. So we're just going to read it without the parenthetical. In 1963, the year Shiv Kumar theorized that the process that formed stars could also create a new class of smaller objects. So that sounds good. So we are going to go back and read it again. Sometimes it is good to read it with the parenthetical, especially on confusing sentence questions, because the parenthetical might be what makes it confusing. The year Shiv Kumar, an astronomer studying stars of very low mass, theorized that the process, so it could be right. It seems a little bit intense. It doesn't start with the subject though, so we're probably going to eliminate it based on that because Shiv Kumar is the one doing the action. Um, this way it says the year Shiv Kumar theorized. Um, yeah. So, anyways, this is confusing. Answer F. So almost certainly it's not going to be the right answer. Answer G. When Shiv Kumar, an astronomer who studied stars of very low mass, theorized that the process that forms the stars could also create a nucleus. So this one actually doesn't even have an independent clause. So it starts with the dependent clause marker when. So always be looking for those dependent clause markers because that's a dead giveaway that they might have turned this into no independent clause in the sentence. So answer G is wrong because there's no independent clause in the sentence. Answer F is going to be wrong because it's confusingly worded and it doesn't start with a subject. Answer H does start with a subject. Shiv Kumar, an astronomer studying stars, very low mass, theorized that the process that forms stars almost certainly going to be our correct answer. And then answer J. In 1963, an astronomer studied stars of very low mass, theorized that the process. So this leaves theorized, the verb theorize, out there on its own um, because it essentially, Jay says, an astronomer studied, and then it has theorized later without a subject. So this is just a confusing worded one, leaving us with answer H is our confirmed answer. It starts with the subject, it's smooth, everything about it is right. If this was helpful, please add it to your worksheet. Write what you learned along with the answer and continue on to the next confusing sentence question that you missed in this test. If this is the final confusing sentence question that you missed on this test, please go ahead and do the mastery for confusing sentence questions until you get 10 questions correct in a row, and then continue on to the next category that you missed the most of.